All right. Well, we got the guys from Lost in Silence sitting in the back. So we're going to go ahead and bring them on. If I can remember how to do this here. One and two. We get everybody in there?
Well, we
All
got
right.
somebody with no screen.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm going to hide this so we get all the names. So I'm not sure where Alex went, but
Right.
nope.
All right.
It
Let's try
says he
again.
joined again. Well, nope. It's
Uh-oh.
still a black screen. JJ, what's up?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Can you hear us? So we got we're not sure what's going on with Alex, so hopefully he'll pop back on here in a minute. But we brought you guys on the show because we want to find out all about Lost in Silence. We have a new song to play from you guys tonight. We have the lyric video. It's going to be the first time people have heard the new song.
Hey,
I know if you
Hey,
go,
what's
hey
up?
Alex, welcome. So if you go look at your Spotify, you got 3 great songs on there. The most recent one, the one we were playing called "Don't Let the Wolves In," and I didn't know it, but and I don't know if this song is, but the other 3 songs were done with Chris Dawson. Is this a Chris Dawson song
it
as
is.
well?
Yes.
So how do you guys feel about working with Chris Dawson?
Chris
Man,
is-
he's awesome. He's one of the best.
Yeah, there's nothing else you can say about him. He's just an awesome dude, like all around, just literally like a musical genius. And like
Yeah.
whenever we go out there and like record, like it's so comfortable at his place, and he brings a lot out of us. So
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
you drop some really killer tracks, and I say it all the time on this show. You're working, you guys are working with 2 incredible people that we know very well at the sound. And when you're working with Chris Dawson for production and Jason Catlett for your graphics and artwork, you're doing something right.
Yep.
yeah,
There we go. Hey,
It's the
we're
dream
trying to
team
make
right
it just like
there.
everybody else. So you got to have the right people, in your corner.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have the right team and the right people to work with and make those connections.
Yep.
Because going first time, what was the first time going like to Dawson to go into Dawson? Now, obviously, you've built up a relationship with him. Were you a bit like nervous at first because the guy's got a big stature in this industry? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
the first time I went out there, I just was kind of feeling like like what am I doing here? Because I knew like Saint Asonia was working there at the time, Any Given Sin, Shallow Side, and it's like, wow, okay. So those guys are all awesome too, though. So we've played some shows with not Saint Asonia, but Any Given Sin and Shallow Side, and those guys are cool too. So just getting to meet like basically all of Dawson's bands that he works with is just super cool.
Yeah. It's crazy to. I am from Greenville, Tennessee. I don't know if you've ever heard of it or not, but it's not a very big town, and he has really helped elevate us to a whole nother level. And there's people that come up to me periodically that I don't know from Adam, and they're like, "Are you the drummer for Lost in Silence?" And I'm sitting here and like, "Are you wanting my head to fit through that door?" But it's really cool, man, and I think he's had a lot to do with that. He's really gets the best out of you, but he doesn't push you past your limits. It's I love the music. It's unique, and he's really easy to work with, man. So it's led to us being able to get on something like this just to talk to y'all and to get certain shows and stuff, because let's face it, his name carries a lot of weight in the industry. And if
Well,
people go ahead.
no, please continue.
Yeah. And and if people find out that you're working with him, that automatically gives you a shot to do something. The whole, Garth Brooks said it perfectly. If you got friends in low places,
Yeah,
you're gonna be doing
definitely.
all right.
And it says something because like for me, like I do all the new ads here at the Sound,
Yeah.
And if someone sends me a track and they're like, "Oh, Chris Dawson produced it," I'm like, I don't even need to listen to it to know
Right.
it's being added. You know what I mean? He's got that kind of reputation to Chris. It's going to be good.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, you automatically know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Well, I think what, Chris really brings to the table is an outstanding ear. And he also has a beautiful collaborative process. A lot of people think that working with a producer is going to change their song in a negative way. But working in a vacuum is far more dangerous than working with a producer.
Yep.
And when you're working with a producer, they can elevate what you bring to the table to the next level. And Chris Dawson does that
Yep.
systematically every single time. He finds what is there inside the artist. He finds the great things that you bring to the table, and he can bring you right up to that level where you're ready for radio. You're
Oh.
ready for any kind of campaign that you're looking for. Chris Dawson is the shit, dude, and we love him here.
Yeah.
We love
he's a
him.
great guy.
He's just, and he's a super humble dude. He is not a difficult person to work with. I know plenty of bands that have worked with him, and no one has ever told me anything different.
No, yeah, he has a way. He's a 1%er in the producer world, is what I like to say. He has a way of hearing things that even people like us who have been playing music our whole life, we just like, I never would have thought of that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and you get what you pay for, man. Especially in this industry, you can go let whoever go.
I was just doing the same thing. You
Yeah.
get what you
Clip
pay
it.
for. Cut it right there.
Yeah.
Make sure that
Got
that's a
it.
clip.
The thing
Well,
I love
one-
about Dawson and your guys' sound and Shallow Side sound and Any Given Sin sound, they're all slightly different. And some of these producers that you go and work with, they're one trick ponies.
Yep.
You know, they can do
Exactly.
one sort of thing, but Dawson gets your sound and he gets the best out of you for your sound.
Well,
Yeah.
a little spoiler alert, since Lester couldn't make it. Well, this is totally, a little bit on the side there, but Dawson has recently want to do some like rock country type stuff, like Austin Snell, Aaron McBee type stuff, and he told Lester, he's like, "Hey man, let's do a couple songs for like a side project. I want to venture out," and that just tells you right there that the guy's open minded. He wants to do something different, and why not? I mean, why not? You're a musician. Why limit yourself? You know what I mean?
And you need a
Yep.
producer who's,
I
go ahead,
agree with that
Kevin.
100%. No, I was just
Yep.
saying I agree with that 100%. Don't pigeonhole yourself to
No, I mean,
one thing.
absolutely not. Why? If you're going to enjoy it and it's going to be fun playing and it's going to help you out, why not?
Not only that, but it also expands.
My biggest takeaway from
Go ahead.
working with Dawson is the mentorship that he gives, and like everything he says, you can take it with a lot. There's a lot of weight to it because just where he is in the industry, and like he tries to elevate every band that he works with. There's no game. Like I just think he really truly.
He cares.
Yep.
He's
Yeah.
personally invested in your story.
He really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You, whatever you pay him, you're going to get every darn ounce out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I try to tell, a lot of people that, they ask me for advice, and I'm like, don't go let Cornbread Carl and who's a crackhead has a, don't let him do your EP for $500 because it's going to sound like a $500 EP.
It's like a
Right.
tattoo artist. Like, don't,
Yeah.
Jimmy
Right.
can do it down
Yeah.
the street. He's a lot cheaper, but it looks a lot cheaper.
Yeah. And people's going to
Yeah,
be
no
like, man, I don't
regrets.
think I want to go with that guy.
Yeah.
So let's get into you guys. Like, how did you become a band? How did Lost in Silence get created?
So I guess that's a me question. So me and Lester are the two original members left, and I was in the YMCA in 2016. I was lifting weights, and Lester comes in there, and I known him previously. We're not really gonna get into that, because it's here nor there, but. He came in, he's like, "What's up, man?" I was like, "What's up, dude? How you been?" And we started chit-chatting, and he's like, "Man, I've been working on this stuff." And I was like, "Let me hear it," And I'm really into Breaking Benjamin and all that stuff, and it was right down my alley. And I was like, "Hey, man, uh, let's go get my drum set. Let's set it down in your basement. And let's jam." You know, we already had a couple other guys that we were all mutual friends with, and about that was January 1st of 2016. 6 months later, we opened up for Lacey Sturm. And then just a few months after that, we opened up for Pop Evil and Red Sun Rising, and it was on from there. Um, did an EP down in Florida with somebody, and it was good, great songs, everything. Put it out in 2017, but we went on about a 3-year hiatus after that. People don't realize that there was a good percent of a chance that I wouldn't be talking to y'all right now because we could not really keep anybody as far as members and stuff. They just wasn't dedicated. And you know, time goes on here and there, and about 2022, you know, we got the pretty much the lineup we got now, and it's been steady because everybody has the same vision. You know, if you got a few people that just want to play local shows, or you know, maybe travel an hour or two, you know, you're only going to make it so far.
Because
Yeah.
it's a hobby.
And and
Yeah.
it's
Right.
me and Lisa asked this for our other company when we like talk to bands for
Hmm.
exploratory calls. The first thing we ask them is this a hobby, or do you want to take this somewhere?
Yep. Yeah, I tell people all the time, I'm like, it's a business
Yeah.
and you need to run it as such. And if you
Mhm.
don't, it's going to eat you alive. You are going to it is going to eat you alive and spit you out 4 times over. And it does not care. It's a cutthroat business. People are in it for themselves. And let me go ahead and say this. And I might ruffle some feathers, but do not if you have to pay to play all the time, tell them to kick rocks, man. Tell them to kick rocks. And we're guilty of falling for that. And look, there is a time here and there where if you know if that place holds 500 people and you know it's going to be sold out, and they say, "Hey, sell these tickets," you know, and if you don't sell enough, you know, you don't have to pay back the rest. Just give me what you sold, and you get to keep merch. Okay, go sell tickets. That's cool.
Absolutely.
Earn your worth. Go down there 3 4 hours wherever you're at and show them, hey, we deserve to get paid. And if it's a good venue, they're going to talk to you afterwards. They'll be like, okay.
Alex, I'm glad to hear you say it, but just like you just did, because I agree with that first statement that you made. Like, and Kevin, you had it. We had a little reel that we shared off of a
Yeah.
couple episodes ago of you ranting on that. I would say I agree with that 90%
Yep.
of the time. But Alex, you just said it. I think there are certain situations that if the deal is right, like don't get gouged, don't, you know, hey man,
Right.
10 grand and you
Yeah.
can play 20 minutes in front of, be
Yep.
smart, don't be
Yep.
an idiot, and don't pay anything more than you can
Yep.
afford to invest
Yep.
or lose, or however you want to call it. But there is a time and a place where, whether that's pay to play or whether that's play for free, because I hear bands say that all the time, I will refuse to play for free. By all means, don't play for free. That's your prerogative. And I'm not saying play a local show for free if you don't want to, but always weigh out the benefit
Mhm.
versus what you're not getting
Yeah.
paid. Like you just said, if it's 2,000 people that you know is going to be packed out in a club somewhere, and you can get in front of that, of hardcore like fans of the genre of music that you're playing, I'm willing to bend a little bit if I'm up
Yeah.
and coming.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Right. Because I do think that exposure, agree or disagree. A lot of people like, fuck playing for exposure. Well, if it's the right
Yep.
exposure and you're not a
Yeah.
moron, it
Hey,
can be worth
you
it.
know what
Right.
Chris Dawson told Lester and Leon one time in the studio? They said we was talking. He looked at us and said, "You guys have made all the right mistakes." And hear me out when I say that. There has been times where we was like, okay, let's pay to play or whatever, and it not end up being what it should have been. So we don't do that
Right.
anymore. And this is my personal opinion. I'm a pretty outspoken guy, I know, but it's not my job to put those people in the venue. It's your job as a promoter, and you shouldn't have to ask me for five, six, seven, $800 just because you can't cover your rear end. Sorry, not sorry. That's just how I see it. You know, not always is that the case, and I'm speaking more of when we was up and coming instead of now. Uh, don't
Right.
you know, if you're a promoter, Be a promoter. Don't it's not every show is going to be good, but I know a lot of promoters that just gouge bands, and they just you blah blah blah. You're just you haven't done your job, in my opinion, in my experience from
No.
things like that.
What they try and do is
I'll give
take
you.
advantage of those bands
Matt,
trying
go
to
ahead.
make it.
Yep.
That's all they're trying to do.
Yep, and not all of them's like that, man. And like I said, there's a time and place for it, but don't do it every time. If you've earned your worth,
Yeah.
and you've got a good following and you've got good music, man, listen, you can treat me like who I am, or we can go find business somewhere else. We don't need you.
I'll say this because you said a few
I'm getting
things there.
fidgety because I'm getting fired up.
Yeah. Like Kevin, you and I know for having put on shows from all different levels of production. And I've even talked to people that put on fights like UFC style MMA fights, right? And what you learn is when you get on the other side of that coin, when you are the promoter, you're putting a lot of money on the line, right? To book a show. And the number one thing that you want to have happen is you want people to show up. And the way that you do that is, as the promoter, you have to have your social media game's got to be right. You got to be making content. You have to do everything like a band would do. But when you start booking acts, you know who you want to book is the fucking people who put asses in seats.
Yeah.
And that also equates with the people.
Damn, that's simple.
Right.
And
And that also
fuck out.
equates with the people who are working the social media game.
Yep.
If you are not up on your social media game and not like putting yourself out there, how is a promoter supposed to promote you?
Right, absolutely. Yeah,
Right.
it works both ways. It 100%
does.
works both ways. And I wasn't trying to dog, what I was saying earlier.
I'm not arguing with you.
No, for sure.
Okay.
It 100% works both ways. If it's partly on you too, but I was looking at it, I guess, more from the promoters that are vultures.
Right.
No, absolutely. And I was going to piggyback off of what Jared said was when we put bands on our shows, when we look to see who do we want to put on there, we look at social media activity. Do they promote their shows? And if you don't promote your show, if you don't promote, hey, we're going to be here. I mean, if there is nothing, if all I see is the venue promoting and I never see the band mention it, I'll never fucking put you on the show.
That's a horrible decision. It's like going down a river with no paddle and you're about to hit the dam.
Yeah.
And you're going to go kapooey.
Like when we put our shows on down in Biloxi, like we don't care how big your band is.
Yeah.
Like we will find a slot for you. But if you're putting the effort and the energy into, promoting yourself and growing, trying to grow that fan base, we'll slap you on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I mean, you all been doing this long enough to know, how it goes.
Everyone's got to start somewhere.
Yeah,
and everyone needs an opportunity, but bands have got to do their job.
You got to do the work.
Yeah, it's a two-way street, and it's you learn as you go in this business who to mess with and who not to, and those people that are vultures and stuff, they'll weed themselves out eventually because word's going to get around. It's a big community, but it's also a very small.
It's not that big.
Yeah, people see through the bullshit.
That and the people that I've randomly met in different states, towns, just going to a show, just like Leon or whoever, just going to go watch a band. We start talking to people, and you'd be surprised how many connections and mutual friends that we both have. And you screw up or you do something stupid, word's going to get around that, hey, these guys are difficult to work with, or these guys are a bunch of idiots or whatever. You won't have a pot to piss in at that point because it started in Asheville, North Carolina, and everybody in Alabama by a week or two is going to know about it.
Mm-hmm.
And you all probably know that to a T,
Yeah. Everybody talks.
Well, we're from all over. So, I mean, Kevin and Jared are down south. I'm up in Virginia and Matt's in the UK.
There
We're
you
all
go.
going to talk about it.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. I
And
mean,
it spiders out from there.
The UK's a prime example, right? We're a small country,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Everybody knows everybody in the music industry over here. Everybody,
Yep.
and they all talk.
Oh yeah,
They all talk.
absolutely. I remember, and it was in Greensboro, North Carolina. It was about 4 or 5 years ago. I went to go see Caskets. They were the opener for Dayseeker, and yeah, and their drummer was running merch, and I was like, hey man, yeah, here's my band, and he had actually heard of us, and we didn't even have anything on Octane yet.
James is the best. That whole band is amazing.
Oh, they're great. They were great. That was a great show. It was them, I think, Holding Absence, Thornhill, and Dayseeker, and that was one of the best shows I've ever been to.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was actually their first tour in America.
Yeah, that was their first US tour. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they let you know because I remember them saying it. But yeah, that was a great show. And like I said, you never know who you're going to run into. You never know who they know, and it can help you or it can hurt you. It's your choice.
Well, with that, why don't we get on to our world premiere?
Hey, I'm all for it. Y'all are going about to play a personal favorite of mine. So,
Jared.
Yeah, Jared, come on.
No, Jared, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. I can't hear you.
How about now?
And you're not on mute.
Yeah, there we go.
Ah,
Yeah.
fuck shit. Okay.
There you
Anyway,
go.
my computer just turned off for no reason. Anyway, tell us everything or tell us nothing about the video coming up.
Jeremiah, you want to talk about that one?
It's actually just a lyric video. We we just wanted to
the
put the song
then.
out.
It's either tell us everything about what it means or tell us nothing, man. That's kind of one of the shticks we do on the show.
Nothing.
That's my
Oh,
favorite.
there we go.
You're my
Nothing.
hero.
All right.
Yeah.
So take it for what you guys get out of it. Here is Lost in Silence. It's Reaching for the Sun. It is the world premiere of their song. Check it out.
There it is. There it is.
There you have it. New stuff from Lost in Silence.
Oh,
Reaching
I
for the
love
Sun.
it.
Yeah.
Slamming it straight to the playlist. This is so good. I love it. Well done.
Do you know what I love about that track? That's time hearing it, I did the things, but I didn't listen to the track fully while I made the promo for it. But like that's some like, or what I'm getting from it is some dark lyrics about some mental health, fighting those demons on a daily basis. But it's not a dark track because the music is so uplifting behind it. So you sort of like,
Exactly.
it's like I'm battling those demons as I'm listening to it because it's such an uplifting track from behind, but the lyrics are so powerful.
But you can see the light, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it allows you to see the light at the end of that dark void. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I'm getting told play it again.
Play it a million times.
So speaking of playing it a million times,
Yes.
tomorrow, all day on the Sound radio station, you will be able to hear that song. So if you don't have the app, download it. Go to either one of the stores. Either what's the studio one?
Play
Google
Store.
Play.
Y'all can all kiss me.
Google Play.
Yeah.
Google Play or the Apple Store. Type in the Sound 228. Download the app. Listen all day tomorrow, starting at midnight. You'll be able to hear that song all day tomorrow.
Yeah, and Leon is your.
And it doesn't hit the streaming
Leon is your
platform until
vocalist,
Friday.
correct?
No, that would be Lester.
Lester did a really, really great job. I love it.
He has a unique voice. There's nobody that really sounds like him. That's a thing that I really like with Chris Dawson too. We have our own sound, but he just makes it even, like, he takes it up another notch to be like, okay, when you hear Lester sing or when you hear our music, it's Lost in Silence, you know.
Yeah.
But it's not in a shell. I cannot wait to put out this album because we have everything from hard rock to power ballads to straight up metalcore, and we don't have to scream to do it.
Yeah, metalcore. Hi.
Give me a metalcore all day long.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But
when is that coming?
We haven't decided yet. We're trying to just put out singles, every couple months or so right now, and then we're going to probably have. I'd say we'll probably have like a CD release show or something like that. But we're right now we're focused on Michigan and getting the Rock for Vets and playing that, and
Oh, what a
we're
great
going to.
cause.
Oh yeah, we're excited about
Yep.
that.
That was going to be my next thing. To tell us about some upcoming shows and stuff
So
like
right
that.
now, all we have is Rock for Vets, and we're looking to book some more stuff regionally. And I'm 3, 4, 5 hours away, regionally, and we're going to try to stay consistent, and just play, a few shows a month and so on and so forth, and just start getting back into it. And, we kind of hit a little bit of a standstill right now. Nothing on our end, we just, we've revamped our computer. Jeremiah has really done a great job with getting our click track and everything set back to where it was. So when we do step on stage, it's going to be balls to the wall, and we're going to put it through your chest.
I
So,
love it. So
yep.
I haven't asked this on this.
And I think there was a discussion
Oh,
already
yeah.
about a
Yes, there
show
was.
down here.
Yeah, we will.
We'll make that happen.
Oh, hey, brother, we'll be there.
So I haven't asked this on the podcast for a long time now, actually. Talking about shows, and you've already played with some incredible artists like Pop Evil, Lacey Stratton.
Yeah.
Who is the ultimate band that you would love to be a support opener, or who's that band that you want to be playing with on that stage?
I can't speak for Jeremiah, but for me, my all-time favorite band is Breaking Benjamin.
There you go, Kevin.
Yeah.
That's my band. So
Yep. He's got the tat.
there we go. You got
It's there.
the crest. There we
Yep.
go. That's what's up, man. Yeah, I've seen them a couple of times, and I was hoarse after I left. Let's just put it that way. As somebody who just plays drums, Ben Burnley is probably my all-time favorite musician, and I'll say this because when Breaking Benjamin was getting big, I was in late middle school, early high school, and yeah. Sorry. Don't kill me.
Yeah, that stung a little bit, didn't it, Kevin?
It stung for me too. I'm the oldest person on this podcast.
That fucking hurt.
Oh man. Well, pretend I didn't say that. Let's
ignore the old folks.
It's
No,
fine.
you're good. You're good. You're good. I have fully accepted my age. I'm
that's
good.
it. Just accept it and move on. But yeah, there you
It's
go,
just a
man.
number.
But what I was saying is, those heavy riffs that he had and the screams and stuff, it got me in to Kill Switch Engage, August Burns Red, As I Lay Dying, Old All That Remains. It got me into all these other bands, and they were just a pivotal part of my childhood and me as a musician. So if I was to have one band that I could go on tour with and open up with or whatever, it would definitely be Breaking Benjamin.
Well, what about you, JJ? What do you have to say about that? What's your ultimate dream?
I mean, so it's hard to go against that because Breaking Benjamin was a very large part of my coming up as a musician as well. I was in the Marine Corps for 12 years, and Breaking Benjamin.
Thank you.
Breaking Benjamin gave me and a lot of my brothers they just pushed us through a lot of things that we went through. I mean, their lyrics just hit really hard for us. I don't know. I just felt it pretty deep to the core. And I'm not going to say they're my favorite band because I don't have a favorite band, but I could definitely get
True
on board with
musician.
that.
True music junkie right there.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the hardest question.
Absolutely.
What's your favorite band? It's like, what decade are you talking about? What genre of music
Yeah, like
are you
I just-
talking about here? Hold on.
What,
you
what
gotta-
hour in
you
the
should
day
be
are we
able to
talking
count.
about?
Right. I don't think you should be able to categorize one favorite band. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I feel
very
like-
hard for me to answer
Right.
that question.
Right through our lives, we all experience, I mean, for me and Kevin, especially decades of our lives, where we have certain bands that bring us nostalgia, right? That got us through those moments. High school, college, our first, real jobs, stuff like that get you through, like parenting, etc. Your kids are grown, and I think it changes, and you evolve as a music fan, right?
Yeah,
So
Absolutely.
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
at 32 now, there's bands that I didn't really listen to when I was growing up because I wasn't really into it. Like my guilty pleasure is Tears for Fears. That's a great band.
Great
Yeah.
band.
I
Uh,
never
Nice.
want to hear that again ever in my life. I grew up in the 80s. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So for me, I
Hey.
never want to hear Tears for Fears ever again.
I'm a yacht rock aficionado,
Oh,
There you
and I
go.
love it.
Yeah, they are a great band. Hey, listen, a little quick backstory for me on how I got into rock. My dad would take me in his company car when he was taking me to preschool to drop me off, and he had y'all are gonna freaking crap your pants when I tell you this, but the first band that I got exposed to was Night Ranger.
I don't know them.
what?
yeah.
Wait,
Jared
if
Seymour.
I do, I don't know it by the name.
Yeah.
Say it
Sister
again.
Christian.
Sister Christian.
The song
Hold
is
on, I have to
Sister
pull it up.
Christian.
Sister
Oh man,
Christian.
Now he's got to do his
Come on,
homework.
man.
Hold on. Hey, look, I'm not good at names and titles and song. I'm gonna tell you that. Tell me
If
it
you
again.
know the song Sister Christian in the comments, raise your hand.
Sister Christian.
Right.
Hold on.
Come
Y'all
on.
keep going. Don't wait on me.
So what was the fucking movie that
Oh my
Sister Christian
God.
was used in?
Oh,
With
oh God. Okay. I'm on it.
it was the fucking
You've asked me a question now. You know I'm useless at this. It's always on the tip of the tongue.
right.
We'll let Lisa Google
Anyways,
it.
so yeah, we'll figure it out. But all I
Oh,
hear
yeah,
is
yeah,
Sister
yeah, I
Christian,
know
old
that
boy dropping the
Boogie
fucking
Nights,
fireworks on the
Superstar,
ground.
Friday
Yeah,
the
that's it,
Boogie
13th.
Nights,
Nights.
yes, Boogie Nights.
I just listened to
Boogie
YouTube. I
Nights.
know that song.
Yeah, there you go,
Come on.
Jared. Come on.
I didn't know that was the
Yeah.
name of it.
So that's there's more to
Oh,
Night
yes.
Ranger than Sister Christian, but Sister Christian was probably
Yeah.
the biggest
great
song
song,
they
not
ever
their
did.
best.
Them bands
though.
have them big hits, don't they? You know that everyone
Yeah.
knows.
They and I you know, like I said, it's before my time, but they were one of those bands that I just felt like they didn't get enough recognition for how good they were.
Right.
Well,
You
the
know, they
problem I
wasn't.
think starts with when you have a hit like Sister Christian, it sort of ruins it for you,
It's hard to
because
catch up.
you don't want to have a song like
It
that
diminishes everything
so
else.
early in your career.
Everything else is
Yeah.
Right.
held to that standard.
Exactly.
And there's been a few bands like that have, one off the top of my head right now, Evanescence. They haven't put anything out as good as the Fallen album.
Yeah.
It's all good music, but that Fallen album's perfection.
Yeah, that I think that unfortunately sometimes kills a lot of bands or kind of has them just kind of coasting. You know, they've got to me there's certain bands that have put out better music after their quote unquote best album, but you don't know about it because all you know is the one album or the couple of songs that they had, and
Right.
you know but hey, I would rather have one big hit than zero.
True.
Right.
Mm,
I mean,
no shit.
I'm pretty sure if somebody tries to dog them, about only having one hit, they're probably going to point to their wall and say, "Well, you see that platinum record right there? Yeah, you don't have one."
Yeah. And it's certain
Right.
bands they
And at the time of their career, that
Right.
platinum album
Yeah.
really
meant a
something.
lot more money than the platinum album that's on the fucking wall for
Absolutely.
anybody now.
definitely.
Yeah, that's sad right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you have there's certain songs for bands, and that start that projection. You guys have been on Octane and stuff like that. So the first one for you that was on Octane is kind of like that's the song that started projecting you to get more listeners and stuff like that. And like I think it was it I Prevail's Blank Space cover for Taylor Swift.
Absolutely.
That's what blew them up.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's generally what you're known for is that first hit that gains you that traction. Like Sleep Token went flying overnight.
Can I ask a question? What was it like for you guys the first time you got on Octane, or when you got on Octane? Both, like, how did it feel as an accomplishment for you, and then what was it like? I would say, like, back end social media, analytic downloads. Like, what was the response there?
Man, 2022 was our first time on Octane, and it's crazy that you mentioned I Prevail. They did a cover. Well, our first song on Octane was a Justin Bieber cover, Ghost. And when we were streaming that live, I don't know how I didn't have to have reconstructive jaw surgery, because my jaw just dropped to the floor. I'm like, man, I can't believe this is happening. This is not the biggest thing that's came out of my hometown is the band Perry and nothing else. Nobody knows that's it. And it kind of, and I don't want to be,
I did.
Lisa,
I
did
just
you
said
just say who?
Okay.
All right, I'll send
they
it to
were
you.
a country act.
That
but-
is why I don't
No,
know.
he's gonna be sending them to me now as well, isn't he?
But it was just
Education
crazy
time.
to sit there and listen to Jose and Katie and all them talk about your band, your
Right.
little band from Greenville, Tennessee. And like I said, from that point on, I started meeting people at gas stations and stuff that I'd never met before, and they knew who I was. And to me, man, the more success that we have and have had, the more humble I get, because if you let it go to your head, and I know this sounds cliche, but if you let it go to your head, then people are going to pick up on that quick, and they're not going to want to be around an arrogant prick,
Amen.
And
Because we all talk about it.
yeah, it sounds like we're speaking the same language here.
Yeah. Just be a person.
Yeah,
we're all going to Walmart and buying our toilet paper.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Let's not pretend that we're doing something else.
Yeah, I just play drums in a band, that
Ye-
just happened to do a little more than certain other bands, and I'm thankful for that.
You're a person. You're a human being. You're a guy with a family.
Even the King of England has to wipe his own ass.
That's
There
right.
you go, Matt.
Yep.
And his toilet paper came probably from, what is it?
Wait,
Asda.
or he's got to pay somebody to do it, but either way, it's got to get wiped.
Yeah,
Right. We're all just people, man.
Yep. And like I said, that's another thing I tell up and coming bands or people that are wanting to start. I said, if you get a little bit of success, don't act like you're successful. Just be a person. Just you bleed just like everybody else. Don't act like you're king crap on Third Island because you got one single on the radio.
Because if you act like you're better than everyone else, they're going to prove to you
Right.
that you bleed just like
And
everyone else.
again, this community might seem big, but it's actually really small.
Very.
So when you act like that, you are polarizing yourself to everybody else in the community who's telling all their friends that you're a dick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Good luck after that.
Right.
It's why we have a Lisa.
She holds this shit together.
Statements like that is why we have a Lisa.
Man.
It
You
is,
got to have
it's a
somebody
small
holding it
community.
together.
And everybody talk like Alex, me and you have been Facebook friends for probably about 2 years now, and we've engaged and interacted. This is the first time we've properly spoken,
Yeah.
And it's finally nice to see that face.
Hey, same to you, brother. I'm tickled to death to be on here. Anytime I get to be on something like this and talk about, my band and, try and just anybody listening, I want you to be encouraged to go out and take the risk that we've taken, and just a risk that you've not taken is an opportunity that you probably missed.
Well,
And
would you say that working with a producer is a risk that you took?
in our case, I feel like with Chris Dawson, it was so proven at that point. It was just like a duh. Why if we're sitting here talking about wanting to work with him, why are we not hitting him up? So we hit him up, and hey, looky here.
But wouldn't that be a leap of faith, though? So many bands think that, when they're trying to break out, when they're trying to create music and trying to do their thing, that if they let a producer in, it's going to somehow be to their detriment.
It's intimidating.
Yeah.
Of course it is. But wouldn't you say it's worth getting over your fear and stepping out on the ledge a little bit?
You have to, yeah. I mean, it's 100% worth it. We've been on Octane 4 times, so you tell me.
Right, and I want to ask this now because we're swinging back to Dawson and we're talking about risks and stuff. Now, working with someone like Chris Dawson isn't cheap, right?
Right.
Has it impacted the growth of your band going to someone like Chris Dawson, who has that stature, who, you know, has the benefit of the band in mind rather than making money in a sense? Like, has that impacted Lost in Silence? Like, actually going to Dawson, has that impacted your growth at all?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, absolutely. Not only from a music standpoint, but a business standpoint. We've learned so much that we didn't really know just because he's been there and done that. You know, he as a musician and as a producer, you know, you'd be an idiot not to listen to him. I mean, you can rather take his advice, and we have, or you can be like, he's just saying this because he wants to make another buck, blah blah blah. Well, that's not the case with him. He wants you to succeed. He puts
Well,
his neck out for us.
it's his name on the product as well, too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Exactly.
it's I've found with these like we mentioned, you know, guy down the street in a basement doing the recording and the producing for $500 or whatever for an EP, like going and paying more for your single. You're not just paying for the single itself, you get a mentor.
yeah,
Mhm.
yep. That's exactly what he's almost been almost kind of like a side manager for us when it comes to just giving us, you know, good advice and what we should do and what we shouldn't do. And any time that we have anything that's a question as far as like, hey, should we play this show or should we do this? All we have to do, somebody in the band will message him and he'll be like, yeah, it's a good idea. And it's always a good idea. And if he tells us, hey, it's not a good idea, we don't fool with it. It's that simple.
It's great having that at your disposal.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm thankful for us that we do, because most bands don't.
No.
So,
And like the biggest thing in this industry is networking 101.
100%.
You
Yeah, I
know,
mean it's all social media and Spotify and digital, and you know you you have to know how to promote and how to network, and when you got somebody like him who you've built a relationship with now, pretty much guiding you and you know not letting you learn the hard way, it makes a difference, because I mean, I think every band has probably learned a hard lesson somewhere along the way. I mean, that's just part of the growing pains, but when you got somebody like that backing you and helping you out, yeah, it speaks for itself.
Well, JJ and Alex, thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting us world premiere your new song, Reaching for the Sun, playing all day tomorrow here on the Sound 228. If people are looking to find you, where can they do that on social media?
We got it all:
Yeah,
Facebook,
we're on.
TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube. uh just go type in Lost in Silence, and we're the only Lost in Silence, so you will find us.
Yep.
Well, thank you for your time, gentlemen. We
Thank you for
appreciate
having
it.
us.
Hey,
Love
we're
the
very
song.
thankful.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All
Thank you
right.
guys so much.
Thank
thank you
Thank you
you.
guys.
guys.
See
We'll
you
speak
guys.
again soon.
Good
Absolutely.
night.
Yep. Y'all have a good one.